What if I told you you could make $30,000 in revenue without spending a single dollar on SEO, ad spend, or any form of marketing, and only using the current clients that you already have? If you're doing $7,000 to $15,000 a month and feel stuck, this is how you unlock real revenue in the next 60 days without adding a single new customer. Most guys think that they need more leads to grow, which is partly true, but it's also wrong. There's two ways to grow a company, and only two ways. One is to obviously get more leads and get more customers, but the second part is to increase LTV, which is lifetime value of client, to add more revenue per client. It's the only two ways you can grow your company. So this video is focused on LTV and raising the current value of your current customers. In this video, I'm breaking down the 5 plays we use to help owner-operators unlock $30K in revenue with the customers that they already serve. So the first play that I would teach everyone is to upsell. It's the easiest revenue you'll ever earn when it comes from upsells. You've already won their trust. Most of the times at this stage, you're already on site. And here's how to do it right without being super pushy. The first thing you guys can do is send a pre-service text message from your CRM or even from your phone. Again, at this stage in business, if you're doing $7,000 to $15,000 a month, you probably know all your customers by the first name. They all know you by first name, and you have a really good rapport. So the best thing you can do here is to send off a pre-service message the day before service or even the same day, or you do call aheads if you call them by hand. You pick the phone, give them a call. You can do it that way too. It's super easy. Just again, if you don't have a CRM, send a text message that says, "Hey, Sally Smith, I'll be coming out to your house to service tomorrow. There's been a lot of mosquitoes. I'll be doing mosquito treatments in your area. Would you like me to add you to the list?" Super simple text message that goes really, really well, especially at this stage in business. Again, it's very easy. Even if you do a call ahead, it's like, "Hey, Sally, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 15 minutes. I've been working with Miss Jones down the street. They've been having a lot of mosquito issues. Would you like me to add that to your list as well when I get there?" Again, this is a very high converting upsell opportunity. The next thing you do is an on-site, casual pitch. Very, very simple. And this is what we teach all of our technicians to do as well. As soon as the service is completed and you've told the customer what we found and what you were able to help them with that day, you could pitch a couple different things or whatever you guys are doing, whether it's termites, rodents, or bait stations, or it could be fertilizer, it could be whatever services you guys offer, right? It's like, "Hey, Mr. Customer, when I was out there, I seen some rodent activity, or maybe I seen some termite activity, or maybe I was getting attacked or swarmed by mosquitoes." The easiest time to upsell is you're already there. You already have the product on you. You're not having to hard sell anything because the problem is already there. It's super easy for you guys to say, "Hey, this is what I found. Would you like me to take care of this for you?" Again, very, very high converting upsell opportunity right here. And I would highly recommend that every single one of you, if you don't do it, teaching your technicians how to do this as well. Again, big upsell opportunity. Another way that you can do this too is if, say the customer didn't respond from the first message, they weren't home on the time of service, because I hear that all the time. "Well, my customer was home." Perfect. I understand. Is do the next day follow-up. Or if they were home and they say, "Hey, you're talking to Sally and Mark's out of work today." She's like, "Hey, that sounds really good, but I have to talk to Mark when he gets home." Cool. Do that. Your job is to then follow up the next day. Say, "Hey, were you able to chat with Mark? Hey, we talked yesterday about the mosquito treatment. Would you still like to get on my list?" It is that simple. If they don't respond to that, it is okay, and it does happen. People live busy lives, but they're more responsive to respond on a text message than they are with a phone call. But what I like to teach everyone is go in there and just put a question mark on that text. Or if it's a CRM, you just follow up with another text message through the platform. But if it's a simple question, the text that you sent last, and that gets them to look at it again. Simple thing that you do like that will convert a lot of those follow-up sales for you. Now, we touched on this a little bit already. What are some of the services that you can offer? Again, talking about pest control or lawn care, things like that. Let's just go with mosquito, right? Mosquito is always a good upsell if you're doing pest control. Rodent bait box is another one. Termite inspections, any one-time projects that you guys can see in the job. Maybe it's backwater, or maybe they need an exclusion, or maybe you do foundations. There's so many opportunities to upsell a current customer to make sure that they're always growing in that lifetime value, making sure that client's worth as much as possible. And one of the new hottest things the last few years has been bundling services. If you guys bundle a lot of services, pitch them on the next thing, whether that's pest control, mosquito control, fertilizer, whatever it may be, into a bundle package that they pay a monthly fee for 12 months out of the year to make sure they're covered year round. Again, easy way to increase lifetime value of the client. So if they were again, for these numbers, let's say $600 contract value, you could almost double, if not triple that LTV over the next 3 to 5 years by adding ancillary services to that. Again, great way to make your customer worth as much as possible. So if you do this consistently, you're going to add an additional 3 to 5K per month in upsell revenue alone. So playbook number 2 is reactivate old clients. And I see this all the time. Like I'll go work with operators. At this point, I've worked with hundreds of different operators, and they'll have a whole list that they've built out, 1 to 3, 5, 10 years, whatever it may be. But even if you're just starting out and you're collecting data, you're still going to have people that cancel. And it's not that they did anything bad. It could be multitude of things. They could have, maybe they were planning on moving and they didn't move, or maybe they had something come up that was really expensive they'd pay for. Maybe someone got hurt or lost their job. Anything happens, or they weren't seeing any bugs, right? Like we have this. So people, like, you do such a good job that they at some point realize, like, oh, I haven't seen a bug in years. I haven't seen weed in years. Like, we don't need this service anymore. Happens all the time. Or people just kind of forget to sign back up, whatever it may be, right? But I always see this, like they have a whole list of canceled customers. So even if you have 30 to 70 past clients that are sitting in your CRM that once used you guys, but now they've obviously disappeared, you need to reactivate these old clients. You should constantly, I'd say monthly, be sending them a nature nurture email campaign, maybe a text message campaign, but definitely in spring, make sure you're running an activation campaign to activate those old clients who are like, oh man, I have this issue. Or they've been seeing your emails and they've been reading it. The best way I've ever found to sell is giving away free information. Be the person that's the go-to guy in your area, right? That has the answer. So maybe you sent them an email about mosquitoes 6 other times, but they didn't have any issues, or ticks, or whatever that thing may be that you're trying to sell. Here's another thing, like make sure you're sending them out when they're having issues. So like when the mosquitoes just come out, or wasps are just coming out, or rodents are just coming out, or become an actual problem where they're going to need it, it's the best time to send those off and they'll convert much better. But just remember those things, that the best time to sell them when the pain point's high. A simple example, text that you can just send, or a message you can send. You say, hey, Sally Smith, it's been a while. We're offering a free inspection this week. I'll be in your area. Would you like me to stop by? Simple as that. So if you're listening to the marketers, like any of the good ones, you got like David Ogilvy, old school marketing guy. You have Alex Hermosi, Russell Brunson, any guys like that. Make sure to always sell by having urgency and scarcity in your campaigns. What that could sound like is, hey, I only got 4 spots left this week. So there's a scarcity. Hey, he's only got 4 spots. And then let me know by Friday, which creates urgency, because let's just say today's Wednesday. You send out this text message on Friday. You're going to be in the area like, oh, I have to have this answer by Friday. It'll get them to respond much faster. Again, simple text like that can go a long way. Again, most will respond to you, like I already said, because they already know you. You've been doing their work for years. Even if it's just been 6 months, you've got to meet them in person. You're still doing the jobs for them. It's very, very easy to convert these clients into a more reoccurring client, increase the LTV. And again, this costs you $0 in ad spend and $0 in marketing. Play number 3 that we teach owner operators is to make sure they have a good referral program. I feel like I talk about this all the time because it's so powerful. And even early on in my career, it's just one of those huge things that I missed. We didn't have an easy way for them to make referrals. We didn't have a good system to track who gave the referrals. And then we obviously weren't paying out if they did give the referrals, because there was just no way. But if you make this super easy for them, they will convert. And when they convert and they get paid, or they get a free service, whatever you give them for the referral campaign, you'll be surprised at how many more that they'll do and how many more customers you'll get. And as you know, the referral customers are the best customers to get for leads wise. Again, they're almost free, and they're very, very high converting, because it's Miss Sally Jones is referring her sister, her husband's friends, whatever it may be. They're making the referral for you. And so those convert super high. I would say in our company close to or above 80%. Again, I kind of already said it too. Like, make sure there's a good offer on there. You could just be like $25 off their next service, or maybe you give them $25 cash. I actually personally like cash myself. It's easier for them. It gets them more motivated. Or you can do things like, for 3 referrals, you get 1 free month of service. Easy way to roll this out too is you could have like door hangers. You can talk to the customer about it, or you can go buy door hanger bags and put some postcards in there with their names on them. Again, starting out, this is the easiest way to do it without getting software involved. Go get, put 5 postcards in there, write their name on them, have some information sheets like, hey, we came up with this referral program, and explain what you do, and just leave it on their door. or pull it out and explain it to them. Easy way for them to convert customers. So that way, when they have a friend that asks, they give them the postcard or have them send them a picture, whatever that may be. Just make sure that you track it, put it inside your CRM, that they convert, that they referred this customer. Then you make sure you give them the free service and so on. But very, very, very important is to make sure you have a great referral program. This is the best way to build a company. I have a whole separate video on just referral strategy. So if you haven't seen that, go check that one out. Highly recommend watching that. If the customer is not home, you can just send them a text message afterwards saying, hey, Sally Smith, I left you some postcards on the door. This is what they're for. Right? If they're home, I would go through the whole program with them and just say, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you could just give me 5 people's names that that use pest control. More often than not, these customers will give you 3 to 5 people that they know that are willing to connect you to get more referrals. I've talked about this referral program in depth a lot, but referrals stack so fast and it's the easiest and fastest way to grow a company. It might be a lot of work to set it up, but I promise you it's super easy after that and it's definitely worth it. The fourth playbook that we use to teach owner-operators is to offer prepays. There's many, many reasons why I like prepays. In lawn care, it's very, very common because it's more seasonal. So at the beginning of the year, you send them out a prepay letter. They get to save 3%, or you can send it at the end of the fall or after fall, before season start, and say, hey, to lock in 2024, I'll say 2025 pricing before the increases come in 2026. Sign up now and you can save the difference of whatever that be. It's 3, 5%, whatever your prices increase. Maybe it's the 10% price increase for the following year, whatever that may be. Push them to prepay early. There's many reasons to do this. One, it stacks a lot of cash in the off season or early in the spring. Yes, you have to budget a little bit more, but it's so much easier going in the spring because you're buying trucks, you're buying wrapping trucks, you're buying equipment, you're buying chemicals, you're prepaying for all this stuff ahead of time. It's just a time of the year that you just don't have a lot of cash. Get prepays in. Let's just say even if you get $5,000, $10,000 in prepays up early on, that'll help you purchase all those things they needed to purchase throughout the season to get you ahead of the schedule. Also, what prepays do is reduces churn by last year was like 6 to 8% overall. The lowest churn rate is in prepays because a company comes and knocks on the door and they ask you to switch. More often than not, if you're local, you're smaller, and they've already prepaid, they know you personally, they're not going to want to switch companies. They're not going to want to try to get their money back from you. They've already paid it for the year and they're just good. So again, retention is super high or churn is super low, however you guys want to word it. You can lock in their special pricing for prices go up for the next season. Easy way to send it out, like I said, mass emails in the spring, fall, text campaigns, phone calls, whatever it may be. You can leave the old school letters in the doors and you're there. Anything you guys want to do here, just make sure that you have a program put in place for these reasons. In fact, when I was out working with Alex Hermosi, we were talking about churn rate, and the best churn rate was always prepaid. It reduced churn by like 6 to 8% per year just by offering prepay pricing. Just something that I've seen work really good throughout the years. I do actually have a prepay letter. If you guys would like to drop a comment here, I could connect with you. I could send you an email so you guys have these. But it could sound something simple like, hey, Sally Jones, you can prepay your plan through next season, get $100 off, plus a free mosquito treatment. Want me to send you the invoice? And we do this every single year. And in one of our branches consistently gets 50% of our whole client base to prepay throughout the entire year. Coming into March, April, May, we have a stack of cash to get us through the summer, just by offering this one prepay letter. So let's say you have 40 clients and they're prepaying $600 per year. It's $24,000 upfront cash and in your bank account, and you're not having to track that money down throughout the entire year. You don't have a bunch of accounts receivable because it's hard to build a company off accounts receivable. So again, just an easy way to get a bunch of cash early up front and reduce churn. Playbook number 5 that we teach owner operators is to raise prices. And this never sounds fun. It's always super scary. I had to learn the hard way too. But once you've done it a couple times, it's not so scary. It's something that even with us, we have to constantly work on. We're constantly raising prices. But again, one of the first things I'm going to do when I come in to work with you side by side is I'm just going to raise prices. And I say always raise them by, minimum of 3%, just increase them. But I'd say 10 to 20%, especially if you haven't raised prices in a while. You could double what you're charging the customer, lose 50% of the customers, and you're still doing the same amount of revenue with less clients, and they're probably the better clients because they're willing to pay you for what you're worth. Not only that, it's like If you offer someone a cheap service, that's what they think they're getting. They're not emotionally invested. They just think it's a cheap service, and they're always the ones that are bitch and complain, and that you get the most callbacks from is the people who are paying the least. The people who are paying the most, you almost never hear from them. So it's always a good thing every single year is to, even the bottom 10, 20% is to raise their prices 10 to 20%, like I said, and you'll have some fall off. But again, even if you raised them by 10% and you lost 10% of your clients, you're still going to be further ahead. Again, always raise prices every single year. Customers expect, especially if they work with any other company in the past that's any good, any reputable companies that raise prices every single year, whether that's 3 to 5%, whatever it may be. But just make sure every single year you're raising your prices. Go through all your highest paying clients, and if they're fine, leave them be. And if your lowest 10%, or bottom 10% is just still really low, maybe you add 20 to 30% to them, and if they half them fall off, who cares? Because you're still going to generate more revenue with less clients, and you're going to have better clients to work with. Again, something I had to learn. I remember how scared I was the first time, honestly. And I was in an academy, and I had a good mentor, and he's like, don't be afraid, just go do it. Send out that email at the time, and I was waiting for something to happen, and there was like almost zero, if I remember right. Maybe it's been a long time. Maybe it's 3 or 4, whatever it may be. We raised prices by 20%, and we had no pushback, and that was when the light bulb clicked on. I think that summer, I made like an additional $30,000 or $50,000, whatever it may have been, in pure profit just by raising prices. So like be at the top of that threshold in every market that you serve. Now, if you're going to send out an email, which you don't have to, but I did in the past, and now at this point we don't anymore. We just every single year add it. But if you do want to send out the email and let customers know, you can just say that obviously costs have gone up, product, fuel, payroll. It goes up every single year for us. So unfortunately, our customers have to take on some of that burden as well. And I kind of already touched on it too. The clients just expect it every single year, an annual bump. So don't be afraid. Just go raise your go raise your prices right now. I also actually have a price increase email, text message. If you guys want to see it, again, comment in the video. I'll send that off to you guys for free, just so you guys have it. But it can just be simple as like, hey, due to the rising costs, delivering high quality service, our monthly rate will go from X to Z, or if you do quarterly, bi-monthly, whatever, our fee will be going from this to this, and this is why. And then just put an effective start date. If you have 10 clients that are worth $100, or again for the easy number, and you raise it by $10, it's $1,000 extra per month. Is just pure profit. And for a bonus, I'm gonna give you guys play number 6. This is very, very easy too. It's offering seasonal or specialty services as add-ons, but it's super easy wins, like we kind of talked about before. But for examples, if you're out there doing mosquito, you could do a flea and tick treatment. You could do crawl space, sealing, encapsulating. You could do ant barriers. You could do lawn treatments. You could do exclusion work, installation. You can even jump on the roof and do ridge vent covers, all the things I've got to make sure you're excluding the house and to offer a great service and to make sure that the customer is protected from all bugs or rodents. So with those services that we just talked about, there's a huge gap in what you charge, but even from down to, let's just go with a $100 lawn spray versus a $8,000 seal up for a home. Way different, but let's just say on average, you can still generate $5,000 to $10,000 in extra revenue in one-time services throughout the year. Let's do a recap on all the revenue that we just created. Your rodent setup plus reoccurring, talking about up to $11,500 of reoccurring work. The mosquito upsells that we're talking about, you're talking about $6,000 in extra per month. The reactivation campaign, anywhere from $2,000 to $4,500 per month. The referral strategy, again, $2,500 to maybe $3,500, $3,700, somewhere in there. Your price increase from the customers that you had, an additional $2,000 to $3,000. And if you did some plan upgrades and you did additional services, an additional $5,000 to $6,000. So in a total of $35,000 to $38,000 in real revenue over the next 60 days, all from the clients that you already serve without spending a single dollar in marketing. If you're doing between $8,000 to $15,000 a month and feel stuck, this is how you break through and get unstuck and add additional revenue to help grow your business with a lot more profit and better customers. If you guys found this video super helpful, obviously I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.